I'm Bobby Matthews. Welcome to the channel. We're back with another episode of Before You Bet. Before You Bet is a YouTube series that is dedicated to provide our audience with knowledge and information. We work hard here at Z-Rep to provide that knowledge and information to you in a brief video package, so that way you get all the information that you're going to need before placing your wagers on UFC fights. This for UFC Fight Night, Reyes versus Prochazka, taking place at the UFC Apex in Las Vegas, Nevada, May 1st, 2021. This will be a simulcast broadcasting on both ESPN2 and ESPN Plus. The prelims begin at 5 p.m. Eastern Time. Starting off with the main event, taking place in the light heavyweight division, we have got the Devastator, Dominic Reyes, versus Yuri Prochazka. Dominic Reyes is the number 3 ranked contender in UFC's light heavyweight division, has a 12-2 professional record with 7 TKOs, 2 submissions, and 3 decision victories. Reyes is unfortunately coming off a 2-fight losing streak, losing to John Jones by unanimous decision, and more recently losing to Jan Blachowicz, who just ruined him with his Polish power back in September of last year. The 31-year-old southpaw Dominic Reyes has been favored in 7 out of 8 fights in the UFC, with a 6-2 record in the promotion, earning victories over Volkan Oezdemir, OSP, and Jared Cannonier. Dominic Reyes is entering the octagon for the 9th time, is trying to bounce back from consecutive losses, and needs a win here to keep him inside the top 3 of UFC's light heavyweight division. Yuri Prochazka is the number 5 ranked contender in UFC's light heavyweight division, has a 27-3-1 professional record with 24 TKOs, 2 submissions, and only 1 decision victory. Prochazka is on a 12-fight winning streak and is being matched up against the former title challenger Dominic Reyes in his 2nd fight in the UFC. Yuri Prochazka finds himself in a prove-it spot, coming off his UFC debut victory, beating Volkan Oezdemir back in July of 2020. Yuri Prochazka is the younger fighter and will have a slight 3-inch reach advantage. As always, the odds for Before You Bet has been provided by mybookie.ag. mybookie.ag, online betting made easy. Taking a look at the odds here, they have Yuri Prochazka as a slight -135 favorite, and Dominic Reyes is labeled as a +105 underdog. This contest in UFC's light heavyweight division is scheduled for 5 rounds. Taking a look at the over-under betting line on this fight, the odds makers at MyBookie have the betting line for the over-under set at 1.5 rounds. Over being priced at -150, and the under 1.5 rounds is priced at +120. Our pick for this fight is going to be Yuri Prochazka. He has more professional experience and is a certified killer. The co-main event takes place in the featherweight division when the Ninja Giga Chikadze takes on Cub Swanson. Giga Chikadze has a 12-2 professional record with 6 TKOs, 2 submissions, 4 decision victories. Fighting out of King's MMA, Chikadze is on a 7-fight winning streak, going 5-0 in the UFC, getting wins over Omar Morales and Jamal Emmers. Chikadze will be 5 years younger and has a 4-inch reach advantage against his opponent, Cub Swanson. Swanson has a 27-11 MMA record with 12 TKOs, 4 submissions, and 11 decision victories. Training out of Jackson Wink MMA right here in Albuquerque, New Mexico. The veteran, Cub Swanson, is 12-7 in the UFC, and even though he is on a 2-fight win streak, beating Daniel Pineda and UFC newcomer Kron Gracie, you could argue that Swanson is actually on a downtick. He has only won 2 out of his last 6 fights in the promotion, losing to top contenders Shane Burgos, Frankie Edgar, and Brian Ortega. The longtime matchmaker for the UFC, Sean Shelby, must believe that Chikadze versus Swanson has a high potential for fireworks. If I had booked the event, I would have put Merab Dvalishvili versus Cody Stamann in this spot in the co-main event. Merab and Cody are at least 2 fighters ranked in the top 15 of their division. The fight between them will undoubtedly have higher stakes and hopefully cause more drama. Let me know your opinion. Do you think that this fight between Giga Chikadze and Cub Swanson belongs in the co-main event of this fight night? Or would you rather see Merab Dvalishvili and Cody Stamann or another fight? Let me know down in the comments. Chikadze is a -190 favorite in this fight, marking the 3rd time he has been a favorite in the UFC. Cub Swanson is a +155 underdog. The over-under on this fight is set at 2.5 rounds, with the over priced at -195 and the under is priced at +160. Giga Chikadze is our official pick. In the light heavyweight division, we've got the Hulk, Ian Cutelaba, versus Dustin Jacoby. Ian Cutelaba has a 15-6 professional record with 12 TKOs, 2 submissions, and 1 decision victory. Affiliated with CSA Moldova and Tiger Muay Thai, Cutelaba is coming off back-to-back first-round knockout losses to Magomed Ankalaev. The southpaw in Cutelaba has gone 4-5 out of his 9 fights in the UFC. Cutelaba hopes to get to a 500 record in the promotion with a win against Dustin Jacoby. And Jacoby has a 14-5 professional record with 9 TKOs, 1 submission, and 4 decision victories. Fighting out of Factory X Muay Thai in Colorado, Jacoby is making his 3rd appearance in the UFC and is on a 4-fight win streak. Looking at the odds, Ian Cutelaba is a slight favorite at -130. Marking the 7th time that he has been favored in the UFC. Dustin Jacoby is a +100 even money underdog. The over-under on this contest is set at 1.5 rounds, with the over priced at +105 and the under is priced currently at -135. Meaning the odds makers do not expect this fight to make it into the 3rd round. In the middleweight division, Tarzan Sean Strickland takes on Krzysztof Jotko. Ranked number 15 in the UFC's middleweight division, Sean Strickland has a 23-3 professional record with 10 TKOs, 4 submissions, and 9 decision victories. Sean Strickland splits his training time between Team Quest in Portland and Millennia MMA in Rancho Cucamonga, California. Strickland has gone 9-3 in the UFC and is currently on a 3-fight win streak, including his most recent win against Brendan Allen at a catch weight of 195 pounds. It appears Krzysztof Jotko also splits his training time between Planet Eater and American Top Team. Jotko has a 22-4 professional record with 6 TKOs, 1 submission, and 15 decision victories. Jotko is 9-4 in the UFC and has gone 3-3 out of his last 6 fights in the promotion. Jotko will be making his 14th appearance in the UFC on Saturday. Like his opponent, Sean Strickland, Jotko is also on a 3-fight winning streak, beating Eric Anders and Marc-Andre Barriault. Strickland has competed in the middleweight division early in his UFC career, but then transitioned to the welterweight division back in 2014, and now has had 2 of his last 3 fights back at middleweight. Sean Strickland is playing the role of gatekeeper here, looking to maintain his top 15 status in the middleweight division. Strickland has been favored a total of 8 times in the UFC and is currently labeled as a moderate favorite with the price set at 255. His opponent, Krzysztof Jotko, is a plus 200 underdog. The over-under on this fight is set at 2.5 rounds, with the over priced at minus 140, and the under is currently priced at plus 110. Our official pick for this fight is going to be Krzysztof Jotko, the underdog. But a safer bet would probably be to go for the over 2.5 rounds at minus 140. Up next we have the Machine, Merab Dvalishvili, taking on the Spartan, Cody Stamann. Merab Dvalishvili trains with Sarah Longo Fight Team and is the number 12 ranked contender in UFC's bantamweight division. Vili has a 12-4 professional record with 2 TKOs, 1 submission, and 9 decision victories. Going 5-2 in his last 7 fights in the UFC, Merab is currently on a 5-fight winning streak, including his most recent win against John Dodson back in August of 2020. Also earning quality wins against Casey Kenny and Brad Katona along the way. The number 13 ranked contender in UFC's bantamweight division, Cody Stamann, trains out of Michigan Top Team and has a 19-3 professional record, getting 6 TKOs, 2 submissions, 11 decision victories, and 1 draw. In 8 fights in the UFC, Cody has gone 5-2-1. Is coming off a loss to Jimmy Rivera back in 2020. His only other loss came at the hands of Aljamain Sterling, who also trains with Dvalishvili at the Sarah Longo Fight Team. We will see if that has any significance on the outcome of this fight. This fight has Fight of the Night written all over it. Both fighters will be looking for a win, which should put them into contention with someone in the top 10 of the bantamweight division. The odds have got Merab Dvalishvili as a minus 240 favorite. Cody Stamann is a plus 200 underdog, marking the 3rd time he has been an underdog in the UFC, and Cody has yet to win in the UFC as an underdog. The over-under line on this fight is set at 2.5 rounds, with the over being juiced all the way up to minus 315, and the under 2.5 rounds is currently priced at plus 255. Merab trains out of the Sarah Longo Fight Team with Aljamain Sterling, who already has a submission victory over Cody Stamann. It's because of that, plus his 4-inch reach advantage, why he is Before You Bet's official pick for this fight. Up next in the women's flyweight division, we have Poliana Botelho taking on Dread Luna Carolina. Poliana Botelho has a 8-3 professional record with 6 TKOs, 0 submissions, and 2 decision victories. Coming off a loss to Jillian Robertson back in October, Poliana Botelho is 3-2 in the UFC and seems to be currently on a win-1, lose-1 streak after coming off her loss to Jillian Robertson. Luna Carolina owns a 6-2 professional record with 2 TKOs, 1 submission, and 3 decision victories. Carolina is 1-1 in the UFC and is coming off a nasty knee bar submission loss to Erilene Lipsky in July of 2020. This should be a really good fight between 2 women searching to get into the top 15 of their division. The odds have Poliana Botelho as a minus 220 favorite, who has been favored in 4 out of her 5 fights in the UFC. Luna Carolina finds herself as a plus 180 underdog in her 3rd fight in the UFC. The over-under is set at 2.5 rounds, and the over is currently set at minus 300, and the under is at plus 240. And we have arrived at our picks portion of the show, here for UFC Fight Night, Reyes versus Prochazka. They should have named this event UFC Fight Night, names that are impossible to pronounce in English. Starting off with the main event, we're going to roll with Yuri Prochazka. In the co-main event, we are going with Giga Chikadze. Then we are going to go with Dustin Jacoby getting the win, and Krzysztof Jotko, our guy, Merab Dvalishvili over Cody Stamann, and we're going to go with Poliana Botelho. Moving on to the prelims, we're going to roll with Luna Pinheiro and Gabriel Benitez. We're going to go with TJ Brown, Sam Hughes, Andreas Mikadias, and Luke Sanders. The goal here at Before You Bet is to successfully produce a serious sports betting show that is fun, entertaining, and ultimately excites you to talk about the fights, gamble on the fights, and watch the fights. We work hard here at Z-Rep to grind out all this information for you. We do this because you fucking deserve it. So if you enjoyed this episode of Before You Bet, make sure to like the video, share the video, and subscribe to Z-Rep